Hi, welcome. We are talking to Betty Artez today with Casa Alvarez Foods. So really excited to talk with her about a lot of interesting topics that we haven't actually really talked about yet on Instagram Live. So she's going to be a great guest. I'm Sari Kimbell. I am the creator of Food Business Success, and I help package food business entrepreneurs who want to launch their idea, who have that delicious idea in their kitchen, or they want to grow a product that they already have at a farmer's market or in some small wholesale, and they want to grow that product into a bigger brand and a profitable brand, which is very important. So looks like Betty is ready to get the conversation started, and we're going to start talking with her with Casa Alvarez Foods. All right, I'm going to bring you on.
There she is.
Hi, Sari. How are
Hi, Betty.
you?
Hi. All right, I got my
All right.
bag. This is a staple in my freezer now.
I tell you, I use our chili at least 3 times a week, at least. I've got
Yeah.
some frosting on the counter for some
Oh, I see that.
chili casserole later.
That sounds amazing. Well, welcome, Betty. Why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself as people are coming on and joining us today?
Great. Well, I'm Betty Artez, co-founder with my 2 sons and business partner, David, Evan, and Ernesto, of Casa Alvarez Foods. We are a spinoff of a 20-year restaurant in Boulder, Colorado. The chili sauces that we currently have on the market are our pork green chili and vegetarian vegan chili,
Yeah.
the 2 award winners over year while we were in the restaurant. So we got the message from our customers that it might be a good idea to package these sauces. And with today's lifestyle and the busyness now, we're kind of in lockdown, so we have a little more time, I think, to cook. But a lot of people don't really like to cook everything from scratch, so it
Yeah.
really makes it so easy. And on top of that, we're really proud that it's very healthy. It's keto, no added sugars, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free. Pork is ABF, antibiotic-free. So, and that's how we like to keep a really clean label.
Yeah. I was actually just reading the ingredients while I was sitting here waiting. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, these are great. Like I know all of these.
I know, and that makes a world of difference. We have food allergies in our family, and sensitivities too, and
Yeah.
this makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from Argentina, if you want to go that far back.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, my parents and my sister, we immigrated back in the day in 1962, before you were born.
Oh,
uh,
yeah. That does predate me.
um, and um, and really settled in New York City and educated there. Graduated from Brooklyn College, where Bernie Sanders' alma mater, and just a very kind of immigrant American dream kind of youth. Always loved food. Everything was always around food in our family. We
Yeah.
maintained our traditions. We're in the kitchen right now because I feel like this is my happy place. This is my place of creation and energy, and
Yes.
sharing those stories
Yeah.
over food. So yeah,
And are you in Santa Fe now? Is that where you're at?
I'm in Taos.
Or
I'm in
Taos, that's
Taos
right.
right
Yep.
now. And
Okay.
this is my partner Danielle and Escalante in my home, and I also share a home with my son David in Longmont, where
Okay.
our business
That's
is.
what the business is. Great.
So yeah.
Well, I know we want to talk about a couple of topics, but
Mhm.
you were on a panel for me for Denver Startup Week where we talked about founders of color and creating more inclusion. So I think it's a good, you were talking about the immigrant experience.
Mhm.
So I mean, a lot of immigrants do bring their food culture here, and we're so fortunate to have that. But then, you and I have talked about how you kind of get like the restaurant is where it can happen. Why do you think it's hard for people to make the leap from restaurateur to packaged food business?
Well, it's a totally different business. I mean,
Fair enough. That's fair.
well, we discovered that. I always said if somebody would have told me how hard it was to be in the restaurant business, I may not have gotten into it. But it was like one of those things where you don't know, you think it's great. It's, and the same thing in a way with the packaged food business, although I was warned
Yes.
by friends and some people that really didn't feel like we could make it. And those are the ones that you kind of have to put aside. You listen, but cautiously.
You do it anyway.
You leap. I think I learned that from my parents. I mean, they took a huge leap coming from Argentina to the United States, and really those examples, and that's why I think immigrants have that risk taking. Well, it can't be worse. It's so I think the challenges are compared to the restaurant, compared to the packaged food, are manyfold. But for example, in the restaurant, you have direct supervision over the food, the ingredients, and with the packaged food, you do too. We're very particular about our sourcing of ingredients. We're keeping everything as local as possible. But then, when you get to a certain level, you have a co-packer or someone who produces for you. So there you have to hand over some of that trust. You have to trust. And that's really hard for a lot of us because it's your reputation, it's your name on the line, it's your business, and you risk. So I think that leap it's a leap of faith into the actual business, and it's also into handing over. Even though you have the non-disclosure agreements and all of this, you're still handing over your baby kind of to a baby.
It definitely removes you at least one step from the product and your customer. We talked about that before,
and
right?
That's the other thing too, is you don't get that direct satisfaction of a satisfied customer, that calls you over to their table to thank you for creating food that they can eat. And I've gotten these comments even on our Facebook pages, and people say, yours was the only restaurant I could eat at because I knew that the food was safe for me, for my
for the allergies and things.
So that trust and that feedback and that that's kind of gone. I think you get it if you do farmers markets, and we were doing a lot of demos in grocery stores, so we got a lot of that feedback, which was wonderful. And now, of course, I miss it. So this is fun. This is really
I know, it's fun to just connect with people. Why not, right? We're kind of locked up. So, you tried to kind of create community and reach your customer through those demos and farmers markets. But would you say, like, now, is it mainly through social media or? Pretty much.
Now it's really about social media. It's about really doing promotions through the grocery stores, Whole Foods, scheduling out, and we go around to stores. I mean, we're our own brokers also, because we visit the stores. Most of the stores we're in. We haven't gotten a lot to the mountain places, but we drop off coupons. We've got buy one get ones and $1 off, and
I found those. I was like,
it's
great. They're right at the product.
Sort of like, this is our gift to you in a way, when we can't really be there and share the product. And, the events, I mean, we used to do a lot of events and they're non-existent, which makes me feel sorry for the event producers.
Well, we're all like, what do we do? We're bored.
It's really hard, and to transition to virtual is hard. It's really hard.
So, when I was looking for panelists, I know I told you, I went and looked through Naturally Boulder and tried to find other founders of color, and there aren't very many in this packaged food space. Why do you think that is? Is it a financial or just a lack of kind of knowledge in that area? You can speak candidly.
Yeah. It's, I think, multifold also, because there are a lot of folks with some amazing products. There is a woman that I spoke with. I'm a consultant with the SBDC for startups. And so she contacted me through the SBDC to talk about packaging her mole. And it is an amazing product.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And she sells it at the Boulder Farmers Market. And right now, her name skips me, but anyway, so I said, this is, and she had it packaged, and she's a professor at CU. So it's not like, okay.
This isn't her. This isn't her day job.
And she's from Mexico City, I believe. But she tried to pitch her product she did pitch her product to Lucky's Markets, the most local store in North Boulder, and they looked at it, they loved the product, but they said it's too expensive because she won't compromise on her ingredients.
It's very labor intensive, the ingredients list.
And the process. And that's what makes it such a great product.
Yeah.
So that's one piece, because of, it's a certain pride that we have in what we bring. And
the value engineering piece is challenging.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, I've spoken to our co-packer, has been amazing in that they did what we wanted them to do. They didn't try to force extra stuff to enhance and reduce the price and all of that. And our price is moderate. I wouldn't say, I'd prefer it to be a little lower to be more accessible. But right now, that's what it is. I think once we get to higher volume, we might be able to make it more accessible. But again, so I think that's a piece too.
I hadn't thought about that. I can see that though.
It's very, and then of course you look at the financial piece. It's how much does it really take to launch a packaged food business? You've got the recipes, you have everything, but then you've got to get your packaging, your design, your branding.
Right.
And all of that is expensive. And if you bootstrap, I mean, we bootstrapped a lot. But we also were very fortunate that we have some amazing collaborators. And talk about relationships. This folks that I won't mention names, but they used to work for us as students at CU at the restaurant. As servers, okay? And now they're bigwigs.
Uh-oh. There. No problem.
And they agreed to help us.
Oh, nice.
With our branding and packaging. So that was a huge support.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of also, not a lot, but some like collaborative work where they're investors in our company, in that they we did a trade basically for their services for a piece of the company, because they felt comfortable and they were, of the success. So, and those
it's an expensive. I mean, there are ways to scale it up small, but like to your point with the mole, like farmers market, okay, but then to get to that next level.
There you go. Yeah.
To that next level is not cheap, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. the good, the good thing about some of these, the steps that you have to take to get it on the shelf and all that. A lot of these small grocery stores, you can do direct deliveries. Like we started at Lucky's, Niwot Market, all the alfalfas, all the local places that actually knew us from the restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
So we were lucky in that, where others don't really have that.
Yeah. Use
That's
every connection you have, right?
a friend of mine told me, your network equals your net worth.
Yeah.
Because, there are so many people out there, and ourselves included, that want to help.
Yeah.
That's actually why I joined the SBDC, is to be able to share the what I've learned, the mistakes and the pluses, the successes. Because it's all a huge journey. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, they're lucky to have you there for sure. And I consulted with the SBDC for a while in Larimer County, and I met with a lot of people, just like your person there too.
And I've used their services too. I've talked to consultants for our business, as we're getting started.
Yeah.
The same as, the Naturally Boulders and the Colorado Food Works, I think are essential.
Yeah.
In just developing that network. And I think that's another piece of obstacle for folks like myself and others who are trying to start a business but don't really have the network of the key people,
right,
that that will help you.
Yeah.
So I think that's important too.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a personal mission to help more people, women and people of color. Like, let's bring your amazing food into the world and help you navigate that food system that, you don't grow up in that club or near it.
And it is a club.
Yes, it is, for sure. So let's talk about, how long have you guys been in like Whole Foods and larger, you're in regional Whole Foods, right?
We're in Rocky Mountain region. We're in the Denver, we're in the 18 stores that I'm sorry, 20 stores that encompass like the Front Range, I guess. Frisco also a little bit. So we've been with Whole Foods about 18 months.
Okay. And then what other larger
natural grocers we were with sooner, because again, it's a whole, the whole distribution piece. We started out with a local distributor, but they could only go so far. So that we were restricted. So we worked that, which was good because we worked deep. Yeah. So we really worked those stores to move the product.
I love that. I think that's so important to not just keep trying to add, like go deep with the ones you have, nurture those relationships. You did the demos, you were doing all the things there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's critical. And I think that gets missed by a lot because, you need to do volume for your distributor. You have to, but on the other hand, the stores will drop you if you're not, the product isn't moving. So you could be in 100 stores and that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if you're only selling one case every 3 months, but it's to 100 stores, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You want turnover,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay, so you've been building up the regional stores, building up your distribution. I had emailed you a couple weeks ago and you said you were doing, was it UNFI virtual show? So I'm so curious, your experience with, I'd love for you to share about your experience with virtual trade shows and how those are going.
Well, at this point, I want to say it was my first and probably be my last.
Okay.
It was, we did the same trade show last year.
Okay.
In Las Vegas, live.
Okay.
And it was an investment. obviously the booth, the travel, the setup, the time, the product, everything, right?
Yeah.
But we said, well, this is because it was a UNFI specific, and we met a lot of contacts. And actually, people said to us that we were the most exciting thing at the show.
Oh, that's
because
exciting.
it was a lot of, I guess, and from what we had seen also, it was a lot of snacks. I guess snacks are, it's hot. So, but they were all hungry and they wanted chili. So
some real food, not just
real
another
food.
chip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess we should back up and just say UNFI is one of the largest health natural product
natural distributors. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they have distribution centers all over the country.
Yep.
We pull out right now of the Aurora distribution center. So what the issue with this particular show last year was, well, we met a lot of contacts and leads and people who were excited about our product, but they were on the East Coast, like in Brooklyn, New York, and on the West Coast, like in San Diego, where our distribution center does not go.
Right. And you have a frozen product. So
we have a frozen product. So what is our option is to try to get enough accounts in that area to open up that distribution center on the coast and all of that. So that is like insurmountable.
And it's the chicken or the egg. You're like,
exactly.
How do I get the stores if I don't have distribution? How do I get distribution at the stores?
It's just a catch. It's a catch-22. So we decided, okay, let's just work this distribution center with UNFI, and then we can as that volume grows, then we can attract others. But it's really and the other piece is also that the possibility of Whole Foods putting us in, let's say, their Western region.
Right.
If they decide that this product will do well in their stores in California, for example, then they'll tell UNFI, we want this, bring it over there.
Right.
But that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So, so it's really a matter of patience, willingness. Yeah. I mean, everything takes long.
I know. You've been in Whole Foods 18 months. I mean, people are like, okay, why am I not in every Whole Foods?
Rocky Mountain region. Well, the last review, which is, it's a category review that they schedule, and it was last October. We submitted, and the results come out in March for July placement.
Right.
So you have this,
about a 9-month cycle, yeah.
But because of the COVID pandemic, they just said we could not even start on your category. So you're in the same stores you were before.
Okay.
But we can't do it right now.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going through major changes with all of their systems, COVID or not COVID anyway.
Yeah.
But so we just submitted this October for next year. So
for some additional stores then?
For additional stores, additional distribution, Rocky Mountain region, we're hoping, or possibly California, because we've had a lot of demand. I mean, so we're dabbling in e-commerce right now.
Are you?
Frozen product, it's like a nightmare. So, but we have a lot of interest from California.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But again, it's about understanding that, first of all, it's not about you or your product. A lot of it has to do with the systems. And the systems are not very friendly sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to figure it out.
Yes, a lot of figuring it out, a lot of failing. And I see April on this watching this, and she knows, like, one of my clients, like, it takes a lot of failures to work through this. A lot of figuring it out. And they have a granola, so they should be really
Uh-huh.
happy they don't have a frozen product.
It's great. E-commerce right now is the place to be.
Yeah. How are you solving that with your
Yeah,
product?
yeah. It's now we're really are where we're at right now with this is really trying to figure out the whole marketing funnel
Mm-hmm.
with all the pieces to service at least this region.
Yeah.
We started doing initially when the whole pandemic hit and people weren't even going to the grocery stores. We were doing home delivery,
Mm.
and that worked out really well.
Wow.
So, free home delivery.
Were your sons just in the car,
Yeah,
like driving by?
yeah, they were driving around, but
Oh
it
my God.
works and it keeps it top of mind. I mean, with Whole Foods, um, luckily, if I think only for Prime, you can order our product online.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we just got onto the Air Force Army Exchange Services.
Oh,
And this is
interesting.
for anybody who has a product that you want to get exposed to the military.
Mm.
They have they're massive. It's a
Yeah.
government thing, but I am working with this broker who introduced me to them, and they have a catalog only for Army and Air Force, and they do discounts, and they pay the shipping.
Oh.
So folks order, we get the purchase order, we send it, we send the product. Well, they send us the shipping label, and we send the product.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
that is a very nice way to get into the e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
They're very actively looking for healthy products,
Yeah.
natural products. So if you have clients or if anybody's
I know.
listening,
I'm like thinking like,
yeah,
whoa.
yeah, yeah, and I can send you the information
I would love that.
um,
Yeah.
of the broker. And actually, we met someone at the UNFI show last year who was running one of their warehouses because they're doing the online, and they also have warehouses kind of like Costco
Okay.
in the different bases. So
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
pretty huge market,
Wow.
pretty huge market. But anyway, we got off the topic.
I
The
know, yeah. So the
UNFI
virtual trade
virtual
show,
show,
I know we were like, we don't talk about that.
the UNFI virtual show was set up in a way where you set up your virtual booth with product description and all that, and then you sit and wait
Hmm.
for 2.5 days, I think, because buyers get on and they search. And I don't really know what their search engine, what they were using, because we had out of, I think they had like, I don't know, 13,000, could it be, by, or 1,300, I don't know, a lot of
Yeah, I'm
buyers
sure.
registered.
Okay.
I think we got 28 visits to our booth
Okay.
and one order,
Oh,
which
wow.
was like, are you kidding? We got, yeah. So there was no interaction. There was the ability to chat, but nobody wanted to chat.
So
It's
is
like,
it just like a web page that they go to and then
yeah,
they,
it's a catalog,
okay.
and they click on the products that they're looking for, and they're, it's really,
Wow.
it wasn't, it was not a good experience. But you have to try it. You have to try
Yeah,
it to see.
we're trying things
Um,
out. Hopefully they
yeah,
had a place where you could give them feedback.
right, right. Well, yeah, no, I did. I gave them a lot of feedback.
You're like, listen.
and it's and I think they kind of threw it together. I don't know, but because I did the Nourished Festival, which
Oh
is a
yeah.
gluten free.
Mm-hmm.
We did that. We've been doing that in the Denver area for a couple of years, and it was
Yeah.
always very successful.
Yeah.
So we did that virtually, and they actually designed their own platform for their
Mm.
show, and it was very nice, very interactive. And I did some actually live stream cooking demos.
Oh, very cool.
And we had people purchasing our products online. Well, that's why we had to hurry up and and be able to ship. Um, so that was really, but that was very, like diet specific. These are all
Yeah.
people who are looking for gluten-free products.
Right.
So,
And it's the end consumer, right? Not a buyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The buyers, they have a different mindset
They
altogether.
do. Yeah.
So we like the
Yeah.
end consumer.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, so this is their product. The Casa
Yes.
Alvarez pork or vegan green chili. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So have you ever done like the fancy food? I know they're trying virtual.
Yeah.
Ever done that one?
I just saw that they canceled and they were going virtual too.
Yeah.
No, we never got to. Actually, this was the year that we were wanting to do more of those types of shows. But forget that.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like they lowered the price. I mean, you still did you have to pay for UNFI to be part of it? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
it's all.
A booth is like $3,000 minimum at fancy food. And I think
Yeah.
it's still that
Yeah.
way,
No,
so.
it's the booth last year at UNFI was $3,500, and that was because we were a new company, so they give us a break.
They give you a little discount. Yeah. You don't pay $5,000, you pay $3,500.
I mean, I understand that they have to survive too.
Yeah.
And, I have a really good friend who used to be our Noble Cisco rep when we had the restaurant for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So when we transitioned, I contacted her and I said, you know what? Talk to me about distributors, because I don't really know that. I knew them as a customer,
right,
but not on the back end of what they face. What's the mechanism?
Right.
So, and she told me about, it's called shadow income, which is all the income they make from the food shows, the ads, that have nothing to do with selling your product, the margin, because their margin is relatively small.
Right.
So, so they have to make up for it with this other income to support their infrastructure.
Sure.
So, I get it.
Right.
but it makes it, and that's, those are the other things. I mean, I have a friend, Monse. She had these amazing pupusas. She still does. She has a restaurant now. Amazing pupusas in Colorado Springs, Monses. And we were both with the same local distributor. But she was getting really frustrated because she had been with them for like 8 years and wasn't really growing. And we talked about UNFI, and I said, well, let's check it out and all this. And when finally I got on with UNFI, she didn't want to do distribution anymore because she started a restaurant. And she kept telling me, she said, I don't want to spend $10,000 just to get on, in their warehouse. Well, it turns out UNFI now and many others like KHE, I believe, have these like startup programs for early stage companies, where they lower their standards basically of how much volume you have to do.
Yeah.
But she was another founder. She's from El Salvador, amazing woman. And she's got this great restaurant right now. And I told her, because we did it backwards. I mean, I did the restaurant first and then the packaged food. And she started with the packaged food and then did the restaurant. And I kept telling her, it's not as easy as you think.
Yes, I know.
Your cash register is constantly going, but your overhead is, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. Oh, we've had lots of good. Nicole, thanks. Hi, Nicole from EJ Mix on El Rey Chili said, awesome information, ladies. Thanks for doing this. So, lots of good comments on here.
Nice.
Well, so What's your like last words of wisdom for people wanting to start that packaged food business or grow it like you guys did? And
Um,
congratulations on all your success. I know, there's always more to do, but
oh
really,
yeah.
yeah, and your product's fantastic and you just
It's
keep
it,
going.
that's the thing is that this is the comment I make with my sons. It's like when we reach this next step, it's like we don't even celebrate. It's like, okay, what's
Yeah.
next? You know? So I think taking a step back, enjoying your successes, no matter how small they
Mm,
are, and building on those and filling your soul with it. But I think the most important thing is understanding your why, knowing
mm.
why you're doing this, and feeling good about it.
I love that.
And just one little story:
Yeah.
we're working on developing a really good burrito, really good
Oh,
breakfast burrito, and we are so dissatisfied with the ingredients for the process. I mean, it's different, cracking an egg and whipping it up. But when you're talking en masse,
yeah.
it's a totally different thing.
You're
And
dealing with liquid
so,
eggs and yeah.
yeah. And then the
Makes
tortilla itself, And so we had this conversation just last night. It's like, well, would you feel good putting your name on this? And it's like, no.
yeah.
So move on and let's figure it out. And that's the thing is, don't compromise.
Mm,
Don't compromise. Know who you are, know your values and your why.
yeah.
You are doing this because you want to provide really good, healthy food that people enjoy. And they don't have to work really hard to get it, to eat it.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
that's our mission. And I think that um, anybody who's looking at starting something really understand why you're doing it and stick with it. Or if it changes, then be good with it. Be
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, and also network. Your organization, Naturally Bolder, other, you know,
Yeah.
as much
Find a
as you can,
community of
don't
people doing
feel
this.
like you're
Yeah.
doing it alone
Yeah.
because you can't do it alone.
You can't. I know. And that's why, yeah, I'm with Colorado Food Works. I have the private Facebook group for food business
Yeah,
success, trying to bring people together, Naturally Boulder, wherever you are in the country, there are other organizations. But
yeah.
it's so interesting. Like, actually, next week's podcast is number 10, and it's all about celebrating your wins. Doesn't matter how small, because
Yes,
I don't think we do that enough. We just are
we
like, oh
don't.
yeah, I did that. Okay, maybe not, right? And it's like,
I know
wait,
what's
time
next.
out.
But no, I think it's critical. It's really
It
critical
is.
because we get buried otherwise.
Yeah,
Uh,
because then you feel just disappointed. Just, you feel like you're so focused on some giant end goal, and
yeah.
that's so far away. You're never going to be able to maintain it and have fun, and you're just going to feel like you're always failing until you reach that giant goal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
I think it's so important to just, well, be present too, right now. This is it.
Yeah.
Because that's critical as well. And it has to do with your successes, with your family, with, what you're sacrificing and the choices that you're making are intentional.
Yeah.
That's also very critical. And, those are lessons you learn along the way.
I think that's the
Um,
beauty of being an entrepreneur is you get to learn, like
yeah.
you're putting yourself into this fire, right? This place where you're gonna get
Mhm.
melded and grow and learn.
Right.
It's not an easy road. So
But
we're
it's your
gonna,
choice. But you've made that choice. Nobody's
yeah,
thrown you in there. That.
exactly. I love it. Yeah. I guess I'm getting so many people ready to start that business because of COVID, because they're like, what am I waiting for? And I'm ready. And I have this
Yeah.
amazing thing, and I'm going to choose, part of my future, and I'm going to do this. So
It's about that control over your
yeah,
future.
that
Yes.
empowerment.
And you could be a broke entrepreneur, but at least you tried.
At
You
least you
know,
did.
I mean, and you're your own boss, and you can push yourself as hard as you
Mm-hmm.
want, and then you can back off. It's like with my sons, you know, we take breaks because it's like, like, okay, back off. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um, because it's hard, and that's why it's important to have a network and support.
Support. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
definitely, yeah, use your SBD centers, go find your small business development
yeah.
centers, use my resources, use my community for support. I mean, I basically took everything I was doing at the SBDC and turned it into food business success, but
Um,
they're really lucky to have you there for sure.
yeah, yeah.
You're
I
in
mean,
Boulder.
it's really it's a great community, and people are really willing to help. You
Yeah.
know, and that's the beauty. I used to say it's the best kept secret, the SBDC, because nobody, nobody knew about it. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
we used it to start our business. You
Yeah.
know, we use consultants at the SBDC to, kind of figure out, do we want to do a co-packer? Do we want to do this ourselves? What, the
Yeah.
pricing, everything, they helped us.
That's
So,
great.
so I think, and so now it's my time to give back.
Yeah, I love that.
Our time to give back. Yeah.
Yes,
I just want to
absolutely.
plug one little thing.
Yeah,
We're,
please.
we're going to be doing a cook ebook for the holidays,
Mm.
Casa Alvarez Foods. And so we're going to be offering it on our website. So
Okay.
subscribe to our email list, and we will get it to you for the holidays. It's going to have some of our original Casa Alvarez restaurant recipes that we get so
Oh,
many requests for.
oh
And
my
then
gosh.
also an array of ways to cook with our 2 chili sauces.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That sounds fantastic. What a great idea for the
yeah,
holidays. So,
yeah, we get a lot
um,
of requests for
I
recipes.
bet. So that's just at casaalvarezfoods.com,
Yep,
right? And then that's also your social handles as
yep,
well. So
yep.
keep it simple. I love it.
Keep it simple. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't. The websites and pages and passwords and oh my God.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Yeah. That's why you
well,
have a
share.
family business. Share the
Yeah,
load. So,
yeah.
well, thank you so much. What a great conversation. It was really fun to see you again and
I
connect. And
know.
I hope you're staying warm in Taos.
Yes, it's
Uh,
we got a big snowstorm like you did, but it's all melting now, which is fun.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
too here. It's crazy.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
well,
thanks, Sari.
yeah, you're welcome.
It's been a pleasure, and I
Absolutely.
look forward to connecting with you
One day
also.
we'll meet in person.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Thank
Awesome.
you, and thanks
Thank
for the
you.
support. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, that was awesome. So many good nuggets there. I will put the link to that Air Force opportunity in the YouTube video once I get that up next week. Please go join. If you have not joined the private Food Business Success Facebook group, go over and join that. It's a great way to have that community, have that support, other packaged food business entrepreneurs just like you. And we offer lots of resources, and it's a place you can post your questions as well and have people help you out, and myself answering your questions. If you haven't checked out the Food Business Success podcast yet, definitely go check that out as well. Like I said, next week is Celebrating Your Wins, and I'm celebrating 10 weeks of doing a podcast. And of course, if you're interested in working with me and getting one-on-one help, go over to foodbizsuccess.com and click on apply. I'm actually going to be moving this program, the online Food Business Success program, into a wait list very soon on November 9th. So if you are listening to this prior to November 9th, definitely go over and apply. That will be the only way you can get into the program in 2020. So I'm moving to a wait list very soon. And you definitely want to at least apply, and we will jump on a 30-minute call and you can ask me questions, and then we'll see if Food Business Success is a good fit for you. But that's what I do, is help people launch and grow their packaged food business dream. So I'd love to help you. And in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks. Bye.